just the sheer number of people that emailed me this story, I was just like, what is going on? And I'm thankful that everybody values my opinion and wanted to hear my opinion about this crazy story about another mom and boyfriend. And I just keep thinking to myself, like, how many times are we going to have to talk about mom and boyfriends and violence towards children? And I have a lot to say about this story. I have a lot to say about this story. As you guys can see that on the screen. My God. Before I get too disrespectful, some of you guys might not be familiar with my content, so if this is your first time here, let me give you a disclaimer real quick. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. Just so you know, and I don't want you guys to get upset, okay? So this story is coming out of Clayton County, Georgia, and I'm getting this from fox5atlanta.com, so thank you for the article. The mother who was arrested in Clayton County after a 6-year-old boy was hospitalized because of severe beatings made her first appearance in court before Judge Keisha Wright Hill late Thursday morning. Her name, let me see if I can get her back up on the screen, because it is a lot of her to get on the screen. Give me a second. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the person that you guys see on my screen, or the person that ate the person that you guys see on my screen, is none other than a young woman by the name of Porsche Wells, or Porsche, P-O-R-S-H-E, Wells, W-E-L-L-S, 33 years old. That is a bad 33 years. Oh my goodness. I think this is, to be real with y'all, can I be honest with y'all, AFC? I think the reason why people sent me this story wasn't because of the kid, and I'm being a little mean about that. But my goodness, I'm just saying, like, where do you find a belly to put on top of your belly? I'm just saying, that is a big human being. Oh, blob looking ass. Oh, goodness. Oh, life raft belly fupa having ass. God, dog. Woman looked like she done ate about 33 hamburgers, let alone being 33 years old. My God. That is a big, unhealthy, uncouth, bad mother. She's a bad parent. Look, I'm not fat shaming. It's just a shame to be this big. I'm just saying. I'm not fat shaming at all. But ma'am, this is called water. You might want to drink a couple of jugs of this. Maybe it might cleanse some of them arteries out. Just saying. Good Lord. Instead of drinking water, this woman probably drinks grease. I'm saying, God, dog, that's a big ass girl. Anyway, 33 years old, allegedly, facing multiple charges, including cruelty to children in the first degree. Keep that in mind for those of y'all who get mad about me. Oh, you talk about her looks. Well, she abusing children. The way I see it, she can go to hell. First degree and cruelty to children in the third degree, contributing to the deprivation of a minor, making a false statement, which I'm glad to see that charge there, because that means that she was lying to the popo. So that's good. Battery, family violence, aggravated battery, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I want you to keep in mind that this has to do with children. So before you get mad about me talking about how she looking, no, I'm not the picture of health my damn self. But last time I checked, I got one stomach, not 33 of them. Anyway, During Wells' first court appearance, Clayton County Chief Magistrate Court Judge Keisha Wright Hill went through the charges and described some of the allegations against her regarding how the mother allegedly just stood by and watched her own child get beat by her boyfriend, which we'll get to him here in a moment. The victim, the child, sustained cruel or excessive physical and mental pain by allowing her boyfriend by the name of Napoleon Eights. Let me spell, well, I'm not going to spell Napoleon. Y'all know how to spell Napoleon. But let me spell this man's last name because I thought this was absolutely hilarious. That's this fool. This bitch nigga. Sorry. This individual that you guys see on the left-hand side of my screen, his last name is spelled A-T-E-S. And then you have a picture of her on the right-hand side. His last name is Eights. That's his real last name. A-T-E-S. Eights. Y'all ate everything. It's a big-ass woman. Anyway, her boyfriend, Napoleon Eights, to cause physical harm to the victim with alleged belt and hands, according to the judge. Investigators described how horrific the alleged abuse was. He was punching the 6-year-old like he was punching a grown man. This dude right here. And that's according to Sergeant Julia Isaac with Clayton County Police. Wells received bond for each charge in the amounts ranging from $2,000 to $8,000, with the exception of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge, for which she did not receive bond. Police said that Wells' boyfriend, Napoleon Eights, who's 36 years old allegedly, accused the young boy of stealing $80 from him. So he beat this child up because he allegedly stole $80 from him. Mom's boyfriend, who probably is sitting around the house that mom probably is getting Section 8 for, getting food stamps for, probably getting child support from my baby daddy some damn where. She just doesn't appear to be a worker type to me. I just don't think that you could just have that much flap over your stomach and be a hard worker. I just find that just hard to believe. Just a bad looking chick, man. I don't talk about big people. I just talk about people who hurt children. Flat out. That's the difference. Stealing $80. But I can almost can guarantee you he doesn't pay any bills there. He's just living off that woman and doesn't do anything for that kid. So the way I see it, hey, that kid probably was thinking like, hey, you owe me $80 for living up in my house and eating up my juicy juice and eating up my snacky cakes, right? So he just like, I'm going to just take it out your wallet, I'm assuming. The boyfriend then began abusing the child, because he's much bigger than him, obviously, for days as his mother stood by and just watched it happen. Of course, that's allegedly, but that's what we believe happened. On Sunday, the boy reportedly lost consciousness, and Wells attempted to revive him with an ice bath. Can we get a hashtag another bathtub story, please? The reason why we have so many hashtags is because we have to kind of keep in mind how much ignorant crap is going on with these kids and how many of these things seem to follow a certain pattern. In this particular story, we have another bathtub story, which means that we've had a ton of other stories that somehow involved parents or caretakers taking children who have been abused to death and then sticking them in a bathtub, giving them a shower to allegedly revive them after you've beat the living dog shit out of them. How does that work? Apparently your intention with beating a child, spanking a child, hitting a child, punking a child, abusing a child, whatever you want to call it, treating them like your own little personal slave, Then when their body physically can't handle it and they pass out and they're about to die, you think, oh, now let me help them. Now let me try to do the right thing. Right? See how stupid that is? Hashtag another damn bathtub story. So she stuck her child in the bathtub, but wouldn't stick her child with a suitable father, wouldn't stick her child with a suitable boyfriend who is the father figure, I guess, in that house. And let me tell you why here in a moment that I think he's such a terrible person. Can we get a hashtag date thugs, date death, which is another AFC hashtag? And guess we're going to be going in today. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. And I'm not calling that man a thug because of his skin color. I'm calling him a thug because of his behavior and past behavior. So bear with me because I got 2 articles I'm going to read from just this one story. On Monday and Tuesday, Wells, the mother, went to work and got her nails and feet done. Let me read that again. On Monday and Tuesday, Wells went to work and got her nails and feet done, according to the police. I don't know if y'all maybe took this the way that I took it. Let me read this again. It said on Monday and Tuesday. So did it take her that long to get her nails and feet done because you're saying because she's got a lot to work with? Did it take 2 days to do it? I am not making this up. Y'all can go to the article. Again, the article is located on fox5atlanta.com. It says on Monday and Tuesday, she got her nails and feet done. That's what the article say. Don't get mad at me for reading the damn article. The unresponsive child was brought to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta on Tuesday. The hospital notified the police of the abuse. Ates, the boyfriend, she ate her boyfriend. Ates, the boyfriend, also has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault because he was the one emitting the abuse. 2 counts of aggravated cruelty to children in the first degree, 2 counts of cruelty to children in the second degree, cruelty to children in the third degree, and contributing to the deprivation of a minor. I don't know how I read that big ass word, but I did. Glad I did. Wells is due back in court at 8:30 a.m. on July the 3rd, which is in a couple of weeks, for a preliminary hearing, and on July the 7th for a bond hearing, which I'm hoping that she gets no bond, right? Ates, the boyfriend, that sounds so weird every time I say it, Ates, the boyfriend, appeared in court on Tuesday and was granted a bond. However, he is not able to post bond, and he must stay away from the 6-year-old boy, and he cannot return to Wells' home. Now let's move on to article number 2. And here's why I call him a thug. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag date thugs, date death. The second article comes from AtlantaNewsFirst.com. So thank you for the article. A Clayton County mother and her boyfriend are facing charges related to the beating of the young woman's child. Napoleon Ates and Porsche Wells, who have been dating for 3 years. I don't know why. I can go to another article and they give me way more details. They've been together 3 years. So this 6-year-old, so she's been with this man since this little boy was 3 years old, roughly. Between 2 to 3 years old. They've been dating for 3 years, and both of them were booked into Clayton County Jail this week for charges of aggravated assault, cruelty to children, and contributing to the deprivation of a minor. Now, according to arrest warrants, Wells decided to spend the weekend with Ates at the home on Old Rock Cut Road in Conley and brought her 6-year-old son and daughter. Napoleon, the boyfriend, is said to have used his fist and a belt to beat the boy multiple times over the weekend. The most severe beating allegedly happened on Sunday when Ates accused the boy of stealing $80 from him and giving it to the 36-year-old's roommate. That doesn't even make any sense. Let me read this again. He accused the boy of stealing $80 and giving it to the 36-year-old's roommate. "36 years old with a roommate, number one, is stupid, okay? Second of all, how does a 6-year-old know that another grown-ass person needs $80? And what would they need $80 for? That sounds like that alleged roommate stole the money and blamed it on the kid and said, hey, the kid gave me the money. That sounds like what adults do. Children don't know the value of lying. They have to be taught to lie. Children, more times than none, when you ask them, they're going to tell the truth. Hashtag children don't lie. Children have to be taught and coerced and forced into lying. That sounds like an adult made that story up and blamed it on the child. And now the child is getting beat up by this grown-ass sissy. Police said despite knowing that her son was in grave condition, Wells continued her daily routine for 2 days. So she acted like nothing else going on. That she even got her nails done, her nails and feet done. It wasn't until Tuesday morning court documents revealed that Wells tried reviving her son with an ice bath. Let me skip some of this. Oh, let me not skip some of this. Hold on, let me read this. Wells eventually took her son to the hospital. The child suffered, and I want y'all to catch this before y'all get mad about me talking about her looks. Listen at what she allowed to happen to her own flesh and blood, her child, that she gave birth from that thing that's hanging in the front of her. The child suffered from a brain bleed, blood clot in the lungs, broken bones, and severe bruising, according to police. As of Friday, he is still listed in critical condition. Please make sure y'all keep that baby in your prayers. But here's why I called mom's boyfriend a thug. Check this out. Court documents, which you can Google search this, so she can't act like she didn't know that she had a thug. She knew. Court documents also revealed that Napoleon 8 had warrants out of Forest Park for a January 2023 incident where he is said to have thrown the boy against a vanity, bruising the child's kidney and causing other severe injuries. However, he was never arrested. Atlanta News First reached out to the Forest Police Department asking why he was never arrested, but that they didn't receive a response. Napoleon 8 and Wells are due back in court on June 26th, which is in just a few weeks. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I know that is a lot to take in. Let me give you guys the fair use. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Guys can also help sponsor this channel by clicking that thumbs up. It'll share this video, let more people know that we're live. We're really trying to advocate for these children and pray that this baby boy makes it and survives. Here we go.
A mother and her boyfriend are behind bars tonight, charged with the brutal abuse of a 6-year-old.
Clayton County police say the little boy spent days without medical attention and has severe injuries. Fox 5's Eric Perry was the only reporter there as the child's mother was taken to jail.
This is a story that has even angered Clayton County police and investigators. They let Porsche Wells out of this door into a patrol car off to jail while her 6-year-old son fights for his life in a hospital.
Is there anything you would like to say? Nothing at all?
Complete silence from a handcuffed Porsche Wells as Clayton County police escort her out of the police department into a patrol car and off to jail. Wells and her boyfriend, Napoleon 8, face several charges in the abuse of a 6-year-old.
He was punching the 6-year-old like He was a grown man.
Julia Isaac with Clayton County Police say they initially got the call to a Metro Atlanta hospital as the child was unresponsive and unconscious, brought in by his mother.
Napoleon 8 believed that the 6-year-old stole $80 from him and gave it to his roommate.
Police believe that was Sunday and say the child was severely beaten for days until his mom took him to the hospital Tuesday. Wells initially told police she wasn't there during the time of the assault, but say she changed her story and stood by as her child was beaten.
She went about her daily life. She went to work. She went and got her nails did. Horrible what this baby had to endure.
Wells and Aites face several child cruelty and battery charges. Wells has an additional charge of lying to police. As for the 6-year-old, he needs your prayers.
The 6-year-old is currently suffering from a brain bleed, a blood clot to the lung, several broken bones.
And there is yet another person impacted by all of this. I'm told Porsche Wells had another child, an 8-year-old inside of that house, who's now been handed over to the state. In Clayton County, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Officials say the little boy is in the hospital in critical condition. Fox 5's Eric Perry is live outside Clayton Police Headquarters. And
that 6-year-old fighting for his life in the hospital, broken bones, blood clots to the lungs, and bleeding to the brain. Only our cameras were there. Take a look as that mother, Porsche Wells, was taken into custody. Here's what we know. Clayton County Police say Wells' boyfriend, Napoleon 8, accused the 6-year-old of stealing money. Over the weekend, I'm told the boyfriend physically abused that child for days as his mother stood and watched. At one point, police say the boyfriend even told the mom to leave the room. So for days, I'm told, the boyfriend did nothing until that Sunday. The boy fell unconscious and the mom decided to give him an ice bath, trying to wake him up. That was unsuccessful. However, Monday and Tuesday, ordinary days for this mother. She went to work. I'm told she went and got her nails done. Her feet did as well, only to take him to the hospital yesterday. That's where Clayton County Police got that initial charge, that call to that hospital. The two face charges of child abuse. The mom faces additional charges of lying to police. She initially said she knew nothing about it or she wasn't there, but that turned out not to be the case there. So the mom, when we asked her questions on that perp walk to that escorted to the police car there, she didn't answer any of our questions. I asked if she had any remorse or anything like that. I can tell you her nails look freshly done. Her feet look freshly done. They'll go with the handcuffs and the jumpsuit in the Clayton County Jail. Here's what we're working on tonight for 10 o'clock. We're digging deep into the boyfriend's background and what police say the message in all of this is. You'll want to join us for that tonight at 10. Unbelievable and heartbreaking story here in Clayton County. I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
wow, a lot of observations there. Eric, thanks.
And we begin tonight with the merciless beating of a 6-year-old boy allegedly at the hands of his mother's boyfriend. This is exclusive video of police taking his mother, Porsche Wells, to jail. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Wells and her boyfriend, Napoleon 8, both face multiple child cruelty and battery charges. Fox 5's Brittany Edney is live outside the Clayton County Magistrate Court with new details. And Brittany, one of them is able to post bail.
Yeah, Courtney, that's right. Within the past 24 to 48 hours, both Aites and Wells have gone before a Clayton County Magistrate Court judge. For Wells, she was denied bond based on those charges. But as for Aites, he has that option available, although there are certain conditions included.
Therefore, your total bond is $6,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
A Clayton County judge tells 36-year-old Napoleon 8 that if he's able to post bail, he must stay away from the 6-year-old boy he's accused of severely beating.
Okay, well, there's a no contact, which means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly.
And he also cannot return to the home of his girlfriend, 33-year-old Porsche Wells.
So you're prohibited from returning to the incident location.
Investigators say Aites accused the child of stealing money over the weekend and then severely beat him for days as his mother stood by and watched. The little boy is in the hospital fighting for his life. Police say the beatings left him with broken bones, blood clots in the lungs, severe bruising, and bleeding on the brain. Wells appeared before a judge late Thursday morning who detailed the charges.
Cruel or excessive physical or mental pain by allowing her boyfriend, Napoleon 8, to excessively cause physical harm to the victim with an alleged belt and hands.
Due to the charges, the judge denied bond. Investigators detail how Wells not only didn't help her son, but casually went about her daily life while the boy needed medical help.
She went about her daily life. She went to work. She went and got her nails did. Horrible what this baby had to endure.
I'm not trying to be the grammar police, but if she went and got her nails done, not did, done, D-O-N-E. She got her hair, nails did. It's done.
And Wells also faces an additional charge of lying to police. She allegedly told investigators in the beginning that she was not even there when these beatings took place. Then allegedly she switched her story back and said that she was there, she just didn't step in. Reporting live in Clayton County, I'm Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
And let me tell you guys this to wrap this particular story up. And that alone proves that she cares more about having a boyfriend than she do having children. So you have to ask, and this is the thing that I continue to keep saying, hashtag babies for benefits. Why do they have children? They don't love them. They use them as ornaments. They use these children as things to get praise and to get, like, I'm a mother. Like I guess you can't be a woman without being a mother, right? And so they make it feel they make it seem like it puts them on this freaking high pedestal just because they do something that animals can do, right? They should be praised and lauded for just being a mother. You should love me because I'm a mom. You should love me because I have to provide for you and keep clothes on your back and food on your table and make sure that you stay alive. And I should be patted on the ass for life. And if you ever be successful in life, then you owe me for everything that I did for you, right? That's what we call hashtag babies for benefits. Even to the point to where a lot of people, and of course it's not all, and it's never all. Everybody in my audience already understands this. It's sometimes just the new people that listen to us that don't quite understand what I mean by that. I don't mean all people only have children to collect benefits off the backs of these kids. What I'm saying is there are too many situations where people are having children for all the wrong reasons. If you're not having children to create a legacy so that they can go out and go become something great, and then they can turn around and reproduce that, and you could look at it at a later point and say, wow, look at what we helped create, and then they created, and then they created, and then they created. And too many times we should want to push that help forward. Give it forward. And too many times we're taking away from our children, preventing them from being able to get somewhere, like putting electric bills in children's name, put the light bill in the kid's name, right? When they're talking about that, they're talking about stealing the child's social security number and putting that on a bill and having that in their name and ruining their credit before they even get started in life. By the time they look up and try to go get approved for a cell phone, they'll have a freaking 175 credit score, and you'd be like, well, damn, why the hell is my credit so low? I have what on my credit? What? And you go to freecreditreport.com, or you go to Experian, or whatever it is that you go to, Credit Karma, and you go look on there and you find out, damn, my mama done put all this shit in my name because her credit is bad, or my dad done went and done it. And I have all of this negative history on my credit, and now I have a hard time getting started in life. Can't get a school loan, can't get a cell phone, couldn't even get a car loan if I had a job. Isn't that something? And I just know other communities out there. There are plenty of other good parents out there that have a system to where when their kids graduate, they have a sum of money ready for them. They have a car ready for them. They have college funding ready for them to go to help them get a start in life so they can get a good boost to be able to go out there and have a great start so they don't have to struggle so damn much. And too many times, this is the example of what you have. Mama putting dick in food as more of a priority than helping her children become something great. And now this baby boy is fighting for his life, in critical condition in the freaking hospital. And I want you guys to put a prayer hands in the chat and pray for that baby boy that he'll pull through, because I think he has one of the most neglectful, most terrible mothers ever, who looks like she is one heartbeat away from a stroke. And his boyfriend, like, sometimes you could just look at a book and judge it by its cover, and then on top of that, he already has pretty much a history of abusing children. Now, they need to hold him accountable for that, but on top of that, they're not good parents. They should never have access to children ever again. Hashtag TTO and TTT. They don't deserve reproductive organs at all. They don't need to ever be around children ever again, even if they are able to get out. But let me know what you guys think about this story. I know I said a lot of harsh things, maybe some things you might not quite understand. But if you listen with an open heart, I think that most people who care about children can understand why I'm so concerned. Right? Love you all. Thank you so much. And let me know what you guys think about this story. Thank you. I know some people are going to be triggered by this story, so just keep in mind that I'm going to give some opinions that might not sit well with your sensibilities about this particular story, about the woman that you guys see on my screen, the mother that you guys see on my screen. And I'm going to tell you about what she did. So it's going to be a little bit traumatic, so just bear that in mind before you watch the video. But let me also give you a disclaimer if this is your first time here. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And here's something else I wanted to ask you guys as a participatory thing. I know it's subjective, but what age do you guys think that a person is grown? What age do you guys think that a person has the right to produce children? You can make that either one age, or you could put both ages in there, depending on what you guys think, like an age that a person is grown, or what age should a person be deemed as grown? What age should a person be able to have children and be a parent? So here's what I want to do is I want to preface this before I get started. I'm getting this story from InsideEdition.com. So thank you to them for this article. I think this is my first time reading from their article. But if you ask me, no matter what age you are, if you make a choice to become a parent outside of being sexually abused, which definitely doesn't count, and you definitely have the right to choose against being a parent if that's the case. But if you make a consensual choice to engage in sexual conduct and it results in a child, then I believe that you are an adult at that point. You ever heard parents say back in the day that if you don't put yourself in an adult's position? I think this will be one of those moments. If you don't want to be an adult, then I don't think that you should have children. If you have children, if you become pregnant, if you become with child, that makes you grown. Okay? The age number, depending on what you guys type, what age number do y'all think makes a person grown? Or what age should a person be able to have children? I think that, I know it's subjective, but I'm just like, whatever the states say, let's just go with that. If a state says 18, then fine, let's go with 18. If a state says age 16, I'll just go with that. I know it's subjective, but it is what it is. A new body camera and hospital footage showed the moments before and after a New Mexico teen allegedly put a baby in a trash can after giving birth in the hospital's bathroom, according to authorities. So they started it off by saying a teenager. But a teenager could be anywhere from 13 all the way to 19. But guess what you could do at age 19? You could go get an apartment. You can go have a job. You can go have as many children as you want. You can do that at a number of different ages also and still be a teen. That's why I don't like that. So let me be more specific. The mother that you guys see in my video right here, that is Alexi Trevizo, and Alexi is 19 years old. Plenty old enough to understand what having consensual sex will do to a womb. You will get pregnant, and then you will have a child after 9 months. Alexi Trevizo went to the hospital on January the 27th. So she's grown. She's grown. 19 years old. She is grown in every state in the United States of America. And matter of fact, I think every place on planet Earth, I think you're considered grown at that age, right? Went to the hospital on January 27th with complaints of lower back pain. While there, hospital staff discovered that she was pregnant through lab tests. Trevizo went to the bathroom. First of all, let's stop right there. So they knew that she was pregnant. That's a huge red flag right there. So if she's complaining about pain, if you ask me, I think that those doctors and hospital staff should have really had kept their eyes on her. But like I said, they can't stop her or prevent her from doing anything. But I think that they should definitely be on high alert. Okay? They discovered that she was pregnant, so they knew that. She went to the bathroom, and the hospital staff reportedly heard the toilet flush multiple times for 20 to 30 minutes that she was in there, according to body cam footage obtained by Inside Edition Digital. She said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom." That's what she said. I was like, okay, push the call light if she needed anything. So they're trying to respect her privacy, and I can understand that. When staff were finally able to get Trevizo out of the bathroom, the staff found that it was covered in blood. Hospital surveillance footage obtained by KOB4 showed Trevizo leave the bathroom and hospital staff seeing the blood, calling for housekeeping to come clean, and finding a baby in the bathroom trash. It also shows staff comforting each other after finding the baby boy who could not be saved. When I picked up the trash bag, that's when I noticed it even more, because I saw black and purple, but once I picked it up, the bag suctioned to his face, a staff member told police. The baby had died in what the medical examiner ruled as a homicide. Trevizo was arrested on May the 10th, we have a video of that, arrested on May the 10th, and charged with willful and deliberate first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. She was released from prison on a $100,000 bond, so that means somebody probably got a bail bondsman, and put up $10,000 to get her out of jail. Now, if they had the money to do it, fine, but that's a lot of money to try to get together to get her out of jail for whatever reason. But that's your legal right to do that. $100,000, she made bail on May the 16th. Though she was released prior to her graduation, her attorney told Law and Crime that she was asked by her high school not to attend the ceremony. So she's 19, pushing 20 years old, graduating high school. What age do most people graduate high school? Like, I graduated at 18. I think it's supposed to be between what, 17 and 18? So if you're pushing 19 years old, pushing 20 years old, I think it's a little old, but I guess it depends on, when you started school, I guess. I don't know. They're not allowing her to go to her graduation because of the controversy in the community, which I definitely understand that. And they just don't want to have any chaos. She's agreeable to that, her lawyer said. As part of her release, Trevizo is required to attend counseling. She was not ordered, and I repeat, she was not ordered to wear an ankle monitor and is not under house arrest. Trevizo has pled not guilty to all charges, including murder. Mitchell told Law and Crime that he is confident that he'll be able to show the jury that Trevizo, the mother, is innocent and was failed by the hospital and ended up giving birth alone without help. Now that, sir, is some bullshit. And that's part of where I have trouble with accountability in America. Now, I get that that's just the argument that he's trying to make, but I think that the proper way that the courts can handle this is to say, we're not taking that as an excuse. Don't blame the hospital and the hospital staff. What were they supposed to do? Break into the bathroom? When she said that she lied and said she's having back pain, everything is okay, I'm fine. They supposed to kick the door down? What are they supposed to do? Put a camera in there? Violate her actual bathroom privacy? So she committed this thing that they're calling a crime and murder and then exited the bathroom, and they found out after the fact. The child was already dead after the fact. But you want to point blame at the hospital, and I just think that's wrong to do that, and I really hope the courts see through that's bullcrap. Mitchell also said that she was not told by hospital workers that she was pregnant before she went to the bathroom. And I just find that hard to believe that either she didn't know or they didn't tell her. Because after they did the test and they found out, you don't think that they mentioned that to her or her mom or somebody? Here's the part. And I hope y'all are ready for this. Because we're talking about accountability, and I want y'all to remember that the only victim in this story is not the mother who is age 19 years old, who made a conscious decision to get pregnant, have consensual sex, okay? She's not a victim. She does not get to be the victim here when there's a dead baby. The baby's the victim. Let's talk about some accountability. What's the difference in a woman committing this murder compared to a man? A father who also doesn't want to be a parent, right? Let's talk about that. I'm going to assume that she had postpartum depression, what a lot of people like to call me out for in the comment section. And I like to say, my saying is postpartum cannot be an excuse to abuse children and commit murder. Regardless of whether whatever your psychosis is, your psychological condition, if that presents a danger to the child, then I don't think that you should be a parent. If your brain and what's going on with you emotionally or psychologically makes you a danger to the child, then why should you be allowed to be a parent? I know most of us survived it, but that don't make it right. If a person is suffering from mental illness and presents a danger to their children, I don't think that they should be parents. There are a lot of people that have mental illness, but there are also a lot of people who don't present a danger to their children. There is no difference. Murder is murder, and that's the point. So imagine if she, for some reason, decides, postpartum depression, because a postpartum depression literally means that this person doesn't want to be a parent anymore, regrets the decision that they made, and something causes them to snap and kill the child. That's what it is. Matter of fact, let's look up the definition. I don't want to be wrong. Let's look up the definition and make sure I'm right. Let's make sure I'm right about this. Let's see here. Postpartum depression. Let me see. Can I get a definition? Depression suffered by a mother following childbirth, typically arising from the combination of hormonal changes, psychological adjustment to motherhood, and fatigue. Those who develop postpartum depression are at greater risk of developing major depression later on in life. Symptoms might include insomnia, loss of appetite, intense irritability, and difficulty bonding with the baby. Untreated, the condition may last months or longer. Treatment can include counseling, antidepressants, or hormone therapy. But most of us know it as a person that just regrets having a child and then they end up killing the baby. Well, why can't that be a two-part thing? And here's what I want to present. Can men, we don't have children, but we do have emotions and we do have psychology. We have, what is it, psychological? I guess, I don't know what you call it. We have psychological, right? Men have psychological adjustment issues when it comes to having children. It can cause their hormones to change. It can cause men also to be intensely irritable. They can have difficulty bonding with a child. They can have insomnia. They can have loss of appetite. And they could also end up having and needing counseling, antidepressants, and hormone therapy. I'm not saying that men and women are the same, but what I'm saying is, can a man experience these same things? Here's the difference. Let's just qualify him and say that this man has the exact same symptoms and he causes the death of a child. Would we then in turn say, well, he's only 19, he's only 18, he's only 20, he's only 21. Maybe we should cut him some slack. No, they gonna say, you know what? You shouldn't have stuck your dick in there. You shouldn't have had a kid. Give him the death sentence. Give him life in prison. I wrote some of these notes down. Do men suffer from trauma, regret? Are they scared? Do they suffer confusion? How would we treat a man who did this exact same thing? If you present this man with the baby, he went to the bathroom with the baby, and next thing you know, he walk out, baby's dead. What would they do with him? They probably have 15 police officers like jump on top of his back, break his arms and stick his arms behind his back and drag him out the hospital when he could literally be suffering from the exact same thing. And you know what? I'm okay if you want to give women this lighter pass and say that, you know what? She's going through some things that are very difficult for them to go through. Instead of us giving her life in prison, maybe we'll give her 5 to 10 years. Then I'd say give men the exact same thing. Because after the seed leaves the man's body, he no longer has a choice in whether he wants to be a father after that point. His decisions are narrowed down to 0 after the seed leaves his body, and the seed leaving his body is the consensual portion where both people chose that. But now it goes from 50-50 to 100 and 0. I think that's a difficult level of circumstances for a man to comprehend, especially for a man who's a first-time father, to be like, damn, now I have no choice. I'm literally on the hook. I have no say-so in this after the fact. I'm presenting this argument to say that both things are wrong and both things should be punished, and neither one of those things should be forgiven. That's what I'm saying. I think that's how you make it fair on both sides. In a situation like this, she needs to be treated and excoriated just as if it were a man that did this and committed murder. That's my point. Let me know what you guys think. I know not everybody is going to feel me on that, and I probably lost about 335 subscribers for that one. But let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. So if you guys don't understand, I'm all about getting rid of the excuses for hurting and murdering and killing our babies. I want to get rid of all excuses for any adult that does that. If you guys would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, be open-minded, and listen to the story and share the story. So here we go. Couple of news videos. I didn't bring the right news videos in. Give me just a second. If you guys will listen to the sound of my voice, if you guys will hit that thumbs up while I bring in, got 2 news videos. And I hope that you guys can hear this audio. If you can't hear the audio, let me know. If it sounds good, let me know. Bam. Here we go.
He came out at me and I didn't know what to do. Lexi, I told you about this.
You are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. How big is the baby?
It's full term.
What?
So they started working her up. We did a pregnancy test on her, showed positive. She was at 9, that she had sex. Then she said she had to go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She was in there for quite a while. We kept knocking on the door. Finally, we got her to open the door, and there was blood everywhere. She was cleaning it up. So we took her back to the room, and I was afraid that she knew she was pregnant. She had done something to herself. So the doctor started doing an exam on her. We had the lady come to clean the bathroom. She put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term. She just had it. She had it in the bathroom. Was what happened, and then whatever she did, I don't know. She's gonna lie. She wouldn't tell us she's pregnant. She's been lying the whole time.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. I just pulled the doctor out of the room, so nothing's been said to the patient or the mother that's in there yet.
Okay.
I have Leela, the housekeeper, if you want to interview her.
Yeah.
She's the one that kind of found under
because
the
I
trash.
wanted to get with you guys first and then get with her to get her statement before I even did anything.
Well, I'm the charge, and this is what has happened.
Okay.
You can interview the nurse that had her,
Okay.
the 2 nurses that were taking care of her. You can talk to the...
If you guys do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, I almost forgot to ask you guys. We only have 298 thumbs up, but we got just under 500 people here. So if we can try to get to close to 400 thumbs up, that would help us out quite a bit. So we need, let me see, 102 people to click that thumbs up. So if you would, it's a super simple thing to do. Please hit that thumbs up. Okay, we got 298. Let's try to raise that number up, and I'm going to keep playing the video.
Tech, which is Lori, she's the one that went in there and actually found it, because Legal's like, this is really heavy.
Okay.
So then Lori went in there, and then of course the baby was underneath the clean liner.
Okay. Yeah. If we can speak with Lori, that
Okay,
would get
I'll
her
get
statement,
Lori
and
and I'll
get-
get
I'll get
Legal.
So, officer, the first thing though is I need to make sure that the mother, the woman who delivered the baby, is medically stable. I don't know if she delivered a placenta. She's bleeding a lot. I just got her accepted to Loveless, so I need to get her up there as soon as possible.
Okay. I'll get the pictures over here right
Okay, so how I need to tell her what's going on, and I need to tell the mother what's going on. The mother, they're both in there together. Is one of you willing to be present for that conversation?
And I'll go in there.
Are you guys going?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go in right
sure.
now and do this.
While we're doing that,
And then I'll make sure Legal comes down, all the other nurses and stuff are here, and I'll get Legal here.
Okay.
But she's in this shit. Hey, Marina, will you get Legal back down here? Marina?
I'm sorry, there's we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. He came out at me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
It was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it?
Okay, stop right here. Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her up there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I need your permission to transfer her for medicals. She needs to
She's
be with.
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's
No,
still 19
you're
years old.
right. You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot. She's
And somebody in the chat, and here's another thing I almost forgot, and thank you for bringing that up. I want y'all to think about this. When I'm talking about not feeling any sympathy for this grown woman, 19 years old, she's grown. She's a mother. She had sex. She got pregnant. She is grown. No matter the number of her age, okay? They still have laws on the books, and she's in a hospital. It's called safe haven. Fire stations, hospitals, police stations, where you can drop a baby off safely and you can relinquish your responsibilities as a parent to that child. They just want the child delivered safely. Hashtag safe haven. That means no excuse. Thank you for bringing that up in the chat. That's why we got a live chat. So there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse. It's like the more we take away the ability of the people to have excuses, the more stupid shit that they keep doing. That's why I just think it just needs to be punished.
You need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to work on that. I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's going to have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator and everything. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but we need to do this correctly, and I want to be transparent with you about what our steps are going to be. Okay. Officer, do you guys need to talk to her before we get her transferred?
How long is it going to be before you have to transfer out?
I don't know. What are you working on?
Okay.
Marina, do you think 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
I got detectives on the way, so they're going to be talking for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you guys have, I'm the charge nurse here, do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying. Let's see. Have you watched the news of the girls what they do to their babies and what?
So she had this child full term. She didn't know she was pregnant. Really? There's no way she didn't know.
They go to jail? Nothing was crying.
Any other questions? Okay.
So as of right now, like what I said is, we're going to have the detectives come over here and they're going to talk to you. Okay. We have to gather some more information about what's going on. They'll get your statement. They're going to get the doctor's statements. They're going to get everybody's statements. Okay. So I don't know everything yet. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you. I can't tell you nothing honestly. Okay. All I can say is.
Could go to jail.
Right now she's being detained, so she's not going to leave from here at all. Period. Okay. So one of us will be
in your custody.
Yeah, she's detained. Yeah, she's not under arrest, but she is detained. Okay, she's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up, you're not free to leave. Okay, one of us will be in here the whole time with you, because you're not going to try to leave or nothing like that.
She won't.
Like I said, the detectives will be here. They're going to talk to you. I mean, your care is of the utmost right now. Okay, they're going to do what they need to do to take care of you to make sure you get stable. They get you transferred out or whatever. Like I said, the detectives are already been notified. They're already on the way, so they're going to come talk to you. All right. So don't leave. Don't try to do nothing. One of us is always going to be in here in this room with you. Okay, unless we have to step out for doctor's orders, something like that, because if they need to examine you or do something with you. But other than that, like I said, you are detained. You are not free to leave at this point. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Where was the baby at?
I don't know. I have no clue yet. Like I said, I just talked to the charge nurse. We're still getting all the information right now. Okay. Once we get that information, like I said, the detectives, they can clue you in on everything and talk to you more about it.
Okay.
All right. So. Do you happen to have an ID on you, by chance?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Can we get that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this, and I do want to give credence to what Ash and Emmy said, that I know that there are people out there, and it is possible to not know you're pregnant for sure. So don't get me wrong. I know that there are a good handful of cases like that. and maybe some of you guys know some people that have been in those situations. I get it. In this case, I just find it hard to believe that she didn't know. Even to the point of going to the bathroom, giving birth, she's got hospital staff outside the door, didn't say anything, dumped it in the trash, then stuck some more trash liners on top of it to hide it, and then walked out like ain't nothing happened. That's not being responsible for your actions. So just in this situation, I believe that she knew. I do know that there are situations where some women don't know. I get it. But I think that she knew. I absolutely believe it.
All that information. Call it in to the one. Not on radio.
Okay.
Hang tight right here with her, okay? I'll be back. Ma'am, could we get your ID also, please?
Yes.
Could we put you?
Yep.
If you have anything, call your hair, okay? All right.
Okay, my name is what bag? You put it in the bag?
Yes.
In what bag? Why didn't you say anything to us? Do you want to get in trouble for this now? You could get in trouble for this, baby.
Mom, alright, just give it time, okay? Let her speak to the detectives whenever she's ready, okay? You ready for the second one?
We'll call back.
Second.
Y'all said she had a baby bump in the pictures. Let me see. Y'all saying she had a baby bump? I don't know. Because you know what? I don't have any pictures of her like normal like Facebook pictures of her. All I had was the hospital stuff. So if y'all saw that, y'all might know a little bit more than me. So you're saying she had a baby bump, then yeah, it'd be kind of hard not to know.
Last three of that second one. The last three of the second one is 323.
Still 10 more minutes of this. Let me try to skip through it just a little bit.
Awesome, thank you so much.
If you need something, just push that button, okay? And then they'll come in there. They're on the way, okay? Okay? So as soon as they get here, they're gonna talk to you. I mean, the reason why. Your mom, well, not yet. I can't let you come back in here yet. Yeah, once they get here, then it's up to the detectives to get out to them if you can come back here. If they're okay with her coming back here, then you can come back here, okay? The reason why is because you're an adult. You're 19 years old. Okay? If you're a juvenile.
See, he just said it. He said, because you're an adult, you're 19 years old. He just told her. He just told her. Let's see if y'all can hear that. Just a hair. There we go.
Gonna talk to you. I mean, the reason why. Your mom, well, not yet. I can't let you come back in here yet. Yeah, once they get here, then it's up to the detectives to get out to them if you can come back here. If they're okay with her coming back here, then you can come back here. Okay. The reason why is because you're an adult. You're 19 years old. Okay. If you're a juvenile, I would gladly have her back in here. Okay. But when you're an adult, I can't have you. Okay, if you have any questions, I'd say push that.
Can I go and sign some forms?
Yeah.
So he just told her she's grown.
Yes.
Good evening. We are seeing new video tonight showing the moments an Artesia teen was arrested for killing her baby by hiding him in a hospital trash can just minutes after he was born. News 13's Annalisa Pardo has a look at this new video.
In May, officers and detectives showed up to the home of Artesia 19-year-old Alexi Treviso. Her mother opened the door, demanding answers.
I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
There's a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, for what?
I will give it to her whenever.
Can I see a warrant?
The back and forth went on for some time before officers disclose.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
Police say in January, Treviso had a baby in a hospital bathroom and tied him in a trash bag before hiding him in the trash can, killing the baby. The hospital custodian found the infant in the bloody bathroom.
So when I picked it up, I realized that it was like a little heavier than it would be with just toilet paper and a trash bag in there. So I looked in there, and that's when I called Lori and told her that I think there's babies in there.
At the time, Treviso and her mom said they didn't know she was pregnant.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know.
As did her boyfriend.
How long have you all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
When police came to arrest Treviso months later, her mom gave law enforcement a warning.
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital. I am.
And made a plea.
Please don't be rough with her, please.
Eventually, the teen comes out.
Hi. What's your name?
Lexi.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
Treviso gets cuffed and booked, charged with first-degree murder. Annalisa Pardo, KRQE, News 13.
Wow.
Treviso.
Boy, they said first-degree murder. First degree is premeditated. Damn.
Was released from jail until trial, which is scheduled for October.
Now, I will tell y'all this. As a matter of fact, I actually want to read this part because that's why I brought up what I brought up earlier. Let me see if I can I pause that? Let's go back. Gonna pause that right there. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that the news articles, and not only was it Inside Edition, but it was a bunch of websites that referred to her as a teen. They try to make it seem like she's this young, this young little baby out here in this situation that she didn't know nothing about. She's an adult. She's grown. Right? So yes, they definitely need to stop referring to her as some itty bitty teen. Oh, why does this thing keep going away? I think I'll just make it bigger on the screen. So that way you guys can read along with me. If she gets a first-degree murder charge, that's life in prison. That's life in prison. I'm all about accountability, but that's that's a heavy accountability load. Check this out. I ran across this thing, and I'm going to read this to you guys. They wrote, if you don't know, if you don't know the story, she's a 19-year-old who hid her pregnancy from everyone. So they're already saying that she knew, right? She then gave birth in a hospital bathroom and killed her baby. So that would be murder, right? According to your own words. They're trying to defend her, but excoriating her. She gave birth in the hospital and killed her baby, hid it in the trash. Now she's being charged for murder. Obviously, what she did is horrible, but I see so many people demonizing her and nobody talking about how she is a cautionary tale of why women should never be forced into pregnancies. Why discussions around preventions of pregnancies is so important. What do you think? What I think is very, very simple. First of all, let's talk about the fact that you use the word hid, which means that you lied and manipulated. You killed the baby according to their words, which is murder by definition. You caused the death. You wanted the baby to die. You killed it. Then you hid it. That would be concealing a corpse, which is also a crime. But on top of that, with them saying that women should never be forced into pregnancies, here's what I would have to push back on. Is sex something that you're forced into, or is that something that is consensual? If you ask me, I would say sex between a man and a woman, which is the only way children are made, contrary to popular belief. When men and women have sex consensually, if they don't have it consensually, then that would be that big old R word, the sexual assault word, right? So since she wasn't sexually assaulted, she didn't have her vagina taken from her by force. That sounds like she made a conscious decision to lay down with some boy or some man and have sex. consensually with no condoms, which resulted in her being pregnant. How are you being forced to have consensual sex, receive a seed because you didn't wear a condom, and then carry this baby to full term? When you have things like condoms, you have things like day after pills, you have things like abortion along the way. Before we get to this point, how does that sound like force? How are women being forced to have children? That's 100% a woman's choice. Before, during, and after. Even to the point to where you could have safely delivered the child and then gave it up under the Safe Haven Act. And you are no longer responsible for the financial, spiritual, emotional duties of raising that child. You could literally walk the fuck away. But we want to bring this silly, flimsy feminism argument up. That's not something men can do, just like I stated earlier. Once the seed leaves the man's body, his choices are now zero. Once the woman receives the seed, she now has 100% choice of what happens to that seed. You could try to flush it out with a contraceptive like your day after pills, your Plan B pills. You could have chose to wear a condom during sex, right? And even if you go through with the pregnancy, you still don't have to have the responsibility of raising the child. How is that not a ton of options for a person? To use a word like force, I think is weird. They make weird arguments. I'm all about fairness. To even try to insinuate that this young woman was forced into this, I think is bullshit. And I think that the system is more than likely going to make an example out of her, but it's not personal because there needs to be a standard for excellence when it comes to the courts. And we need to have a system where we punish people who flat out choose to do the wrong thing. When you're an adult, you act as an adult. When you become a parent, you need to act as a parent. When you break those rules, when you break that sacred vow to your child, then you need to be dealt with accordingly. So if they get her for first degree murder, then it is what it is. We'll definitely keep you guys posted. If they give her something lesser, to be real with you, I actually do understand, but there needs to be a severe punishment. There needs to be a standard set. Otherwise, if you continue to keep creating loopholes, people are going to continue to keep doing messed up stuff to kids. And I want you guys to remember that us as the AFC, we are the voice of reason for the children. We advocate for children first. We're not advocating for mothers. We're not advocating for fathers. We're advocating for children to be raised in stable environments. That's what we're here to do. So if you keep the children first, I don't think you'll get mad about anything that I've said. Let me know what you guys think about that. Some people might get triggered, but I get it. Let me know what you think.